But the thing is, I'm a competitor, because if someone tells me you can't, watch me. And I've said this from the very beginning. You can't become an IFBB pro. Watch me. You can't have your own gym. Watch me. You can't have your own women group. Watch me. You can't run the brokerage because you failed at the UPS store. Watch me. Your marriage, please, watch me.
All right, good morning, good morning. I think we got all the technical issues resolved, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. Today's subject is get angry. I'm a competitor, and guess what? I was going through a little angry episode right now, not being able to get this going on time, but you know, I'm a competitor. So that just means I'm going to deliver at a higher level than what I first was anticipating to do. So good for you, good for all of us, right? But I got up this morning and, you know, Carla and I always have these conversations of just different things that we've learned in the morning. And, you know, we do wake up pretty early, some earlier than others. Carla does wake up around, you know, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm up typically around 4:30. So we have a lot of time to not only deposit into ourselves, but from there, we already have a lot of lessons that we've learned. And today I just had a simple conversation with her, and we talked about, you know, what gets you going? And this was a question I was asking her, right? What gets you going? And, you know, my whole thought process was like, what gets me going as well? I want to be healthier. I want to, you know, show up powerfully throughout the day. And she called me out. She called me out in a way where I was like, you may be right. And I'll tell you that in just a second. But with that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce to you our guest today, Miss Carla Araujo. All right, Carla Araujo, you know, pretty much the president and runs everything here at A's and Associates. One of our lead coaches would do the work coaching. And Carla, I mean, I think I'm pumped up about this subject because you got me thinking about a few things. Well,
I'm glad.
But you are truly a competitor. I mean,
I am. You asked me what gets me going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, man, I wake up every day with no one is going to beat me today.
And I absolutely love that.
And there was just I don't know, you asked me a simple question, and obviously somebody had told me the other day, don't get Carla going, man, because she's just, don't ask her simple questions because she's so passionate with her responses. Because I am. I live with so much passion, and when you ask me a question, I'm just going to go with it only because I'm not going to see who I'm going to offend, even you. So you asked me, and it's like, no one is going to beat me today.
No one is going to beat me today. But
I'm a competitor every single moment I wake up.
Now,
so I go to
you
bed.
didn't say the competition gets me going.
No,
you said I am a competitor.
Right.
I'm a competitor, and that's what gets me going. And
right.
and I loved how you said that. No one's going to beat me today. And, you know, the response that I gave you, right, and you kind of set me up for this. You said, so why do you do what you're doing? You know, you ran 7 miles this morning. You're doing all these miles on the bike. You're training for this triathlon. Why you're doing what you're doing.
Right, because if I would have told you why I'm doing it, you would have saw it like, well, you know, you're kind of going after your competition. It's like, no, it's not about competition. So I asked you what gets you going, and your response
I gave you a foo-foo response.
Right, your response was like, I want to be healthy, I want to show up powerfully. I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit, because if you really dig deep, what really got you started? And your response was?
I'm pissed. And I don't want to be, like, I want to lead the charge. I don't want to fall behind.
Right.
You know, I am in a competitive market. And, you know, when I start looking and digging deeper, Carla, I found out it's because I'm a competitor to the core as well.
Right.
And I don't want to be left behind.
Right.
And not only that, I want to showcase to others, look at what rate and how powerfully I'm moving, which means I have to show up like that every single day.
So I think I think that's the hardest part for people, is because everybody wants to play nice. And I'm going to be very open. So if I offend some of you, well, don't get on the call. So, I mean, everybody wants to show up this woohoo, you know, want to be nice and polite, and that's okay. But what gets you going? And if you don't have that fire that gets you going, why are you doing what you're doing? And obviously, we all want to live a healthy, happy life. I get it. I totally get it. We all want to live this marriage on fire. I get it. But what gets you going? I've held on to my marriage for 20 years, I think, because I'm a competitor. And the thing is, and I live like this my whole life, every area of my life. And my marriage is important to me. But it's not, I'm trying to keep my marriage happy and healthy. I'm trying to keep it on fire constantly. So it's like, no one is going to beat me. I want to get to 30 years. I want to get to 40 years. No one is going to beat me. And what I mean by that is I'm going to also live a happy marriage. So I have to wake up. How am I going to show up to my marriage today? So I'm always I'm like, I guess I'm competing against myself. Like I want to do better every single time. And that goes in my health, that goes in my business, that goes in everything I do. You know, it's a simple story. You asked me, and this is not here nor there, but it's just a prime example. I've been training when I was training for my IFBB Pro. Yeah. You know, I was always trying to make friends backstage. I was always trying to be, oh, let's be friends, kumbaya. And you once told me, no one is your friend off stage. No one is your friend on stage. Off stage, okay, I get it. But they're only distracting you what needs to be done when you get to stage. And I'm like, that is so true. Why am I trying to make friends? I could make friends any day, but I didn't struggle or, you know, get to this point, 6 months in training, to go on stage and then tell me, you know, that my competitor won and she's, you know, my friend. So it's kind of one of those things. So, but I live my life, even in business. Mm-hmm. We do what we do. When we failed at our first business, it was like, no one is going to beat me. So I'm going to keep going, and why we opened up Asian Associates. You have to live like this day in and day out. But if you're surrounded by the people, kumbaya, be happy, everything's going to be okay. It's like, no, it's not. Go ahead and be happy. But I'm also going to be 10 steps ahead of you.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, we can all cloud this on saying, hey, I just want to get to it. And I think, you know, just being in that place where we try to be happy and make everybody else happy, in a way we're also suppressing our
we're
our
draining
true
ourselves. It's draining.
Because you're only living your life to be able to meet the needs of others,
right.
which the real need is to continue to lead by
right.
example.
Right.
And you know, the same thing for me. I go out there on a consistent basis, and you made this point as well. Like when I decided to take on this triathlon, I committed to showing up each and every day. So guess what? My vacations are going to take a back seat.
Yep.
Time off is going to take a back seat. But I also communicated this very well to you, and you understand this. Like, you don't give me any heat for the amount of hours like I don't give you. You know, when you were competing as an IFBB pro, we were traveling all over the country because I knew that fires us up, right? It gives us the direction, a purpose. But, you know, it got me thinking, like, the reason I do this is because I still want to showcase that I can lead powerfully. And maybe at the back of my mind, without me thinking, maybe I'm thinking about the competition out there, right? The Remax offices that said I wasn't going to create anything great here. Right. The other offices down the street that said, hey, you know, it's cute what you're doing, but, you know, we're the real competitors out here. And it's those things that say, not only am I going to dominate this space in real estate, but I'm also going to dominate my body. I'm going to dominate my family. I'm going to dominate everything that I do to showcase this full power of me. But it really stemmed from somebody telling me I couldn't do it.
And it's, you know, AZ, I'm going to tell you, when you started this whole training, 2 weeks after your training, someone brought up DTW women, coaching for 12 weeks. So I'm like, okay, what better moment right now to grab onto 10 women and train them? And so I'm fully committed for 2 hours, 3 days a week. And I opened up another group. So you brought that to me because it was like, okay, what am I going to do now? And so I saw the gyms closing down. I saw a lot of these trainers who looked down on me. When I used to even walk into gyms, they're like, what are you doing here? I used to get kicked out of gyms because they were like, you can't train here unless, you know, you work here. And it was just all kinds of little negative Nancys out there. I was like, all right. So that I held on to that. But it wasn't held on to like.
You're not doing it maliciously. It just sparks a fire.
Right. That's all I hold on to. So it was like, okay, how am I going to fire this up? So you brought this whole, I'm going to go to triathlon. I'm like, this is a great chance for me to rise up, to really take this opportunity and go all in with this program. So, and even though I hold 2-day events, it was like, I can't hold that because of COVID-19. So what can I do now? So
you pivoted.
Right.
You pivoted. You came up with another game plan so you don't lose that fire.
Nope.
And at the same time, you have that competitive edge to yourself.
So when you were bringing this, I'm like, all right, you ain't going to be the only one in this house holding up this. So, and that's why. So you are my competitor, but I'm not trying to beat you. But literally my mind is like, you're not going to beat me today. You're not going to beat me today. And so I even look at you like that. I look at everyone around me like that. You will not beat me today.
And I think that's all we have to have, right? We have to have that type of mindset. And I was watching this interview with Michael Jordan early this morning. And, you know, he was constantly getting beaten down. Right in the early 90s, as he was starting his career, he was constantly getting beaten down physically. And he says, I didn't have it within me to compete with them. Meaning I didn't have it physically to have it built. So to compete with them. So he started to physically build his body up, and he got stronger and stronger and stronger each and every time. And I think that's what we fail to do as agents, Carla. Like some people that they don't have it within them to be mentally strong. to be able to handle the duresses of this industry. So they'd rather succumb to it instead of saying, I am a competitor. I'm going to get stronger.
Right.
I'm going to build myself physically, like Michael Jordan said. But not only that, mentally. Because when you build yourself physically, there's a mental aspect of it. And I think that's what we have to really get back at. It's not about just simply hitting the mark on the 12-week targets book. No. It's saying, if I don't have it within me now to mentally win in this game, how do I build that? Because guess what? The top producers have mentally built themselves, right? And it's something like you do. Every time you had to go up there on stage, you had to mentally beat other people, right, as a competitor in order to be able to get what you ultimately wanted, which was your IFBB Pro card.
Yep.
And you didn't quit. How many, it took 12 competitions before you got your IFBB Pro card.
It took many, a lot of travels. It just took a lot. It was a mental game, physically and mentally. I had to leave a lot behind. I had to lose a lot of people in my life. But I had to stay there. I had to stay there mentally because I wanted it so bad. And that's in all areas. And I'm telling you, it's not just, if you're just focused on one part of your life, everything else is going to fall apart. So I'm a competitor, and I was telling AZ this morning, I'm a competitor at everything, from my marriage to my health to my kids to everything. I'm a full-blown competitor. Every day I wake up, and it's like, you're not going to beat me. You will not beat me.
I love that.
And so, and that's just in my head, and it's okay. You know, I'm not trying to play nice. And when I train, even when I train some of these ladies, I'm like, I'm not here for you to like me. I'm actually here to piss you off. And if I pissed you off, then great, I did my job. If I'm here being your friend, then I failed. I'm not your friend. A friend's not going to get you very far. They're not going to speak the truth. Exactly what I told you when you were in the bathroom. We'll get you going. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. You're a competitor. You just don't want anyone else. You see all these officers running at a certain speed, and you're better than that. And that's what keeps you so competitive.
It gets me competitive.
Exactly. So it's not like you're trying to be them or place somewhere in a negative way. No. It's like you have to live like this day in and day out. That's what got us here. So when people are asking me, I even get questioned, are you an agent? Yeah, I'm an agent. I've been an agent longer than you. I've been through hell and back. And that's why I own this brokerage. So I held this phone one day and I've held it to make something up, to make something out of all this. So it like blows me away when an agent comes and says, man, I've been putting 3 years and I see no deals, and get the hell out of this industry. Because this industry is day in and day out until your hand bleeds, until your fingers are bleeding, until something comes through. And when something comes through, there's something inside of you, you're like, oh shit, this feels too good. I never want to go back. So you continue on, or this feels too good and you forget what it was like. So you go back. So you have to keep that fire. You have to keep that fire inside of you. So when I start to die down, I'm like, it didn't feel good. I love the stage. I love the light. I love the hype. I love the everything that it brings me. I love the challenges. So I'm always finding something new that's going to continue stepping me out of that comfort zone. I don't ever want to wake up comfortable.
Yeah.
Every day I learn something new. Every day I challenge myself. Every day. And it's so small. It can be so small in your world. But in my world is big. TikTok. I had 10 followers. Now I'm like, I'm going to get to 80 grand. I'm at 78,000 today. So it's like, what? And that's the way I wake up every single day. And it's so simple, so stupid as TikTok. But the thing is, I'm a competitor. Because if someone tells me you can't, watch me. And I've said this from the very beginning. You can't become an IFBB Pro. Watch me. You can't have your own gym. Watch me. You can't have your own women group. Watch me. You can't run the brokerage because you failed at the UPS store. Watch me. Your marriage? Please. Watch me. And all these things. Oh, you're 42? By that time, you start to lose muscle mass. You start to gain fat. You start to get, watch me. So it's like, tell me no. Watch me. You can't talk about your depression and anxiety and all this past that you have. Watch me. So what gets me going? No one is going to beat me today. I only worry about today, not tomorrow or the next day. I worry about today. Today, no one beat me. No one beat me today. Tomorrow, I'll worry about tomorrow. But I'll wake up with the exact same mindset. No one will beat me.
Dude, that's such a competitive mindset. And it goes to show, like, how do you get to where you want to go? And it's that type of mindset. You got to approach life like a competitor. Not worry about your competition, because there's a big difference there. There's a lot of people that are worried about what this other person's doing, and you're just like, I'm going to focus on me, and I'm going to run circles of whatever you think is considered competition.
If I would have focused on other people, when people told me You're too aggressive. You're too aggressive. You're too loud. You're all these negative things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't focus on the people who actually were there, all the positive words. I would only focus on the negative. And I would have stopped a long time ago. A long time ago. So the mindset that I have is you're not going to stop me. No one is going to stop me. Because I'm a competitor at heart. No one is going to embarrass me. The only embarrassment is yourself when you're thinking about talking down to someone. You're just embarrassing yourself because you're not doing the things that I'm doing. It's hard. It's hard. Walk in my shoes for one day. It is hard because you have a lot of negative people out there trying to bring you down. I've been in the game for many, many years, and I've built thick skin. No one is going to bring me down because no one's going to beat me today.
So what started this? Because you weren't always this way, Carla. I mean, you held back a lot. You held back, a ton. And now it's like you really live in your full essence. Like you're coming in here, and I remember somebody saying like, Carla, you hear her voice, and yet she's all tiny walking out, with little muscles. But you command this respect. You command this drive about you, and this powerful person. Like, how did that even turn? Like, there's some people that are hearing you. They can hear you, and they're like, I am a competitor, but they're too afraid to actually come out. Like, how did you break that?
Because I got angry, and it just turned into passion, and it just kept going, and it was like commitment, dedication. It just felt too good to go back. So and this is what I said, and it may not make sense to some of you, but some of you out there who've coached with me, it's going to make sense to you.
Yeah.
We're born, and we're children, and we're babies, and our moms are holding us, and we grow up into an environment that no one ever wants to tap into because you want to live a perfect life, or you don't want to disappoint your parents or your grandparents to tell them you didn't live this perfect life. And you're born in this environment. We're not born as mutes. We're not born shy. We're not born with anxiety. We're not born with depression. We're not born with any of those things. We're not born. We're told to be all these things. We're told to act like women. We're told to act like respectful men. We're told to act a certain way in that environment that you're raised. So when you rise up, it's not known. It's disrespectful. And so you just you disappoint people around you. So people start removing themselves from you because you become an embarrassment, a shame. So you start to lose friends, you start to lose family. Sometimes you even get a divorce or a separation because no one wants to be around you because they don't recognize you anymore. And that's exactly what happened to me. So yeah, I was mad. I was angry. And the more stares and looks that I got, it was like, you're not going to beat me. And I kept going. With that mindset, I lost a lot of people around me. But it also brought a whole new sense of like, wow, the woman I am is not the woman I want to be. That's the woman I want to be over there. How can I get to her? By simply tapping into me so deep inside of me that I'm not a mute. I'm not a depressant. I don't have anxiety. I don't have all these things. They live in me, yes. And I have to live with that every single day. But it doesn't stop me by going towards a woman I want to be. But as soon as we go into that, really start digging within ourselves, do we get those answers? Because we're not born mutes. We're not born these people. We are created to be these people. So we believe that we're these people when we're really not. And if you want to live that life and you can't hear me, then great, be there. But those who can hear me, wake up every single day. No one is going to beat you. And what that means is there's a lot of people that are not going to like you. A lot of people remove themselves. And yes, you might even cause a divorce. You might cause all of this, but if you're not ready for that, then stay there and be okay with that life you're living. Be there. If you're not meant to be a real estate agent, then step out of the game, but be okay with that. But if you're meant to be an agent, understand that it's not going to be easy. You're going to get a lot of no's, a lot of shame, a lot of embarrassment, late night working, weekends, Sundays. You're going to have to do everything. Hold this phone until your hand is in pain. No one's going to understand you. They don't need to understand you. Don't make videos. That doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to make sense to you so you can get out of your comfort zone. So when you get a no, it's not that painful and so shameful. You keep going. So if you can't hear me, that's okay. That's why I don't do mindset mastery, because you would be so much pain, mentally and physically, and that's okay. But the thing is, I'm telling you, every day I wake up, you're not going to beat me. And no one is going to shut me down.
I love it. I think, the people here at Agents and Associates can hear you. I think, this is the harsh truths that we need to face, But I love the perspective you brought about no one is going to beat me. And yeah, holding the phone up and something that we teach here. And I've gotten so much power from this. And we've all witnessed, if you guys have been here from day one, we've all witnessed this transformation, not only from myself, but from Carla. And it all started with a simple camera to our face, getting out of that comfort zone. And yes, a lot of people within your realm won't understand that. Like Carla just said, they won't, right? They'll even question you about it. But it's not supposed to make sense because it's supposed to build your confidence, getting you out of that comfort zone and realizing that you're made of something greater and putting yourself out there in the raw and real. There's nothing more empowering than to be you powerfully. There's nothing better than that, right? Like that old saying, Carla, the most powerful person in the room is the one that has nothing to hide. Not hiding behind perfection, not hiding behind filters, but putting yourself out there in the raw and real. And these are the things that we've done over the years that have now encapsulated this passion that we have of getting up every morning. And yeah, I was angry. I was angry when the COVID-19 came about, so I decided to run 100 miles. I was still angry and I was still hungry, and I'm out there with my triathlon. And I push every day, no offense to the guys that run with me, but I'm going out there to beat you. I'm going out there at 42 to beat you, right? But at the same time, I'm leading by example. And as a matter of fact, you're going out there to also improve yourself. So it's a domino effect, right, Carla?
Right.
It's a domino effect. It's not to maliciously you go after somebody. But at the end of the day, if I don't have this passion, and thank you for sparking this up for me today, right? I would go into it like nonchalant about it, going through the motions. When I go in there, I'm intense, I'm focused, I'm driven, and I'm going to win. And those are the things that really drive me to come here and do the same things. But it was such a nice breath of fresh air when you told me that way. Because my foo-foo answer was like, I just want to be healthy. It's BS. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I want to win. And no one's going to beat me. And we got to have that type of mindset. Not worry about the competition, but be a competitor.
Right.
And I absolutely love it. I want to go ahead and read some comments. Anything you want to add to that, Carla?
Nope. I think I said enough.
All right, let me get some comments on here. Is there any comments? All right. We've been running into a lot of technical difficulties, but I'm glad you stuck around because this one is pure fire, and I hope you can hear this on your end and tap into that. I mean, waking up every day and saying, no one's going to beat me. Like, what are you think about what you're directing your brain to do. You're directing your brain to go out and win,
Yep.
to go out and deliver, to go out there powerfully. But if you wake up every morning, I wonder what's going to happen today.
Yep.
This person's much better than me. I'm never going to get a deal. You're going to get more of that.
Yep.
So I love that. I love that. All right. So let's see here. I can't go all the way back. Let's see here. Yeah, very motivating. Thank you, Miguel. The plane is taking off. Janelle, and you both are beasts. This is why you're so successful. Thank you, Gabe. You have to keep moving forward no matter what. Nick, Felipe, Real, Edgar, you both speak with fire. Love it. Bonnie, Dominique, nothing but fire. Yes, I agree. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I hear you. Nobody's going to beat me. That's from Sergio. Love it. Claudia, I could feel the fire. I love it, Claudia. And Lonnie, thanks for joining us. And Maria, pure fire. I think you really sent a message that's going to drive this home, Carla. I think it's something that that we all need to hear. We don't have to play nice all the time. We have to go after what we want. And if we have that target up there.
Yep. If you have that target up there and you're just like, how am I going to get there? If you're trying to play nice and trying to get there by just kind of skipping away and just kind of waking up every day with a smile, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I get it. I wake up every day with my prayer and thank you, God, and I wake up with meditation, my Bible. I get it. But what drives me out of bed is anger. No one is going to get me. No one's going to beat me. No one's going to beat me. I'm going to wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock before anyone gets up. I'm gonna meet God before everybody does. I'm gonna meet my Bible. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna make sure I get myself 45 minutes between me and my Lord. No one's going to beat me. No one's gonna beat me to my prayers. No one's going to beat me in the gym. No one's going to beat me in anything I do. No one's going to beat me in the office. No one's going to beat me in anything. And that's just the way I live my life from the time I open my eyes to the time I go to bed. And that's what keeps me going every single day.
Hell yeah.
So why we come up with new things bringing into this brokerage, why we come up with new things in our fitness life, in our marriage, because no one is going to beat me. No one's going to beat us. And so I have AZ's back 100% because I'm not just married to him. He's my partner. He's my partner in business. He's my partner in life. He's my partner in marriage. He's my partner. Therefore, no one's going to beat me. No one's going to beat him. So I have to be powerful and strong enough to hold up almost for the both of us. And that doesn't necessarily mean AZ is no man. What I'm saying is that we both have to think that way because one will always have to carry the other one. If we both are not on the exact same page, no one is going to beat us. And that's what makes us so competitive. If you fall, don't worry, I got you. If I fall, don't worry, Carla, I got you. And all it is one little finger, that's it. Because I'm not here for you to carry me. You can't carry me and carry yourself. We're in this together.
Yeah.
No one is going to beat us. And that's why every day we come up with something. Every day we get creative and we challenge ourselves. And it's not something we come up with 12 weeks, 6 weeks. This is, how long have you been running Mindset Mastery? For years.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the 12-week target?
6 years.
I've been on my 4th year now with women events. We've been in the brokerage since how long?
11.
How long have you been married?
I don't know.
Okay, because it still feels like a honeymoon. Even though we go through our ups and downs, we ain't no perfect marriage.
No, not at all.
No, but business partners, shit, we crush it.
Yeah.
Marriage, just like anybody else, we go through our ups and downs.
You say those things, and it's like, yeah, like and some of you that have been here since day one, you guys have heard me. Like, I want to be the highest sales per agent. I'm not worried about the agent count. I'm worried about you guys being very successful in it, and it's happening. We're leading our market on sales per agent. I mean, to hit $474 million in sales over the last 12 months with the amount of agents we have is unheard of. You don't get those type of numbers, and it's because you're a competitor, right? You wake up and say, no one's going to beat me, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it, but it's a mindset I think we all have to have collectively, and it's not, again, it's not about a malicious aspect of it that I am better than you.
Absolutely not.
It's just like, hey, I'm here to compete.
Absolutely not. And I've learned so much. Years ago, it was like me skipping along backstage, helping combing everybody's hair, doing all kinds of things that made no sense until you came up to me and said, did we travel all across the country for you to lend somebody your brush and your heels and be nice to her for only to outplace you on stage? I'm like, damn, I'm making friends. They didn't get me nowhere. Nowhere. I went in there fierce. Like, no one is going to beat me today. No one. I'm better than you. And I'm talking about myself. I'm better than you. I'm not talking about the woman next to me or the woman in front of me. I'm better than you, Carla, because I'm better than you. You're not the same person you were 6 months ago, yesterday. I'm better than that. And if you don't wake up with that mindset, you got nothing. You got nothing.
I love it. All right. Do we have any last minute? Let's see here. I think that was it. I got one from Patrick. Carla and AZ, my wife and I both appreciate that passion and fire. It is so motivating and well needed. Thank you for that, Patrick. And again, we've been very open with our marriage and the problems we've had in the past. But it's that competitive nature that we can make this better that really got us here, Carla. Where we can communicate, where we don't get offended. Like, I don't get offended when you bring up certain things or even this conversation here where you said, I'm going to beat you, because I get your competitive nature. And the reality is I got to step up, and I got to step up. And your reality is this. Your competitors have this mindset, okay? If you want to compete, you have to come up with that same type of passion in order to survive in this industry. Gabe, Pure Fire today is all about the right mindset. Wake up with purpose. Guys, thank you again. Carla, I want to thank you for coming in. You fired me up. I'm fired up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm about to go kick some ass right now. So, guys, I want to thank you for joining us for another episode of Mindset Mastery. And have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye everyone.